Reading with your kids.
Hey, so great to see you. Come on in. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast, coming to you from the lovely neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are so delighted that you're part of our beautiful Reading with Your Kids family. Please be sure to connect with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Reading with Your Kids, on Twitter @JedleyMagic, and on Instagram @Reading with Your Kids. We're excited today. Our guest is the author of Looking for Something. Her name is Suzanne Arts. Before Suzanne joins us, we want to let you know that this episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by Unicorn Jazz. Unicorn Jazz, a beautiful picture book by Lisa Caprelli. You know, unicorn books have a way of captivating children of all ages. I remember my daughter, she had a unicorn that she called Uni, and she loved this doll, and she wasn't a big fan of dolls. Now, one of the things that kids especially love about Unicorn Jazz is her tail, this magical tail that's shaped like a musical note. Now, in Unicorn Jazz, a shy unicorn moves to a new magical land with her family, but she has difficulty making friends with the other animals. This unicorn storybook engages young readers while also imparting some valuable life lessons about the power of confidence, the value of diversity, and why we should celebrate what makes us unique. Check out Unicorn Jazz at unicornjazz.com. Now, you can check out unicornjazz.com at any time, but you can meet Lisa Caprelli live and in person and be on hand for the magical debut of the Unicorn Jazz plushie on October 6th at the Orange County Children's Book Festival. That's right, Lisa will be at the Reading with Your Kids exhibit booth number D5 in the yellow section, and she will be there. I'll be there. We'll also be presenting our Reading with Your Kids magic show on the Illustrator stage, and I think Unicorn Jazz is going to make a debut there too. Please be sure to join us. It is the largest children's book fair in North America. It's a lot of fun. It's happening this Sunday, October 6th, in Costa Mesa, California, and it is absolutely free. Check it all out, the Orange County Children's Book Festival. Joining us on the line from right outside of Buffalo, New York, in the western part of the state of New York. She is the author of a really powerful book called Looking for Something. Please welcome to the show, Susan Arts. Susan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jed. And how are you today?
I'm wonderful, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you about looking for something. But I'll be honest with you, I'm also a little bit nervous because.
Oh, good. It's two of us.
Well, I'm nervous because this is a powerful book, and the story that you're sharing with us in Looking for Something is very similar to a story about a family here in our neighborhood, in the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville, that affected everybody in this community. Very powerful. It was a number of years ago, but this person lives on in my heart and in my memory. So I think this is going to bring up some memories, but I also think it's going to bring up some pleasant memories. So why don't we begin by you telling us all about Looking for Something?
Okay, well, first off, let me say sorry for your loss. I know it's hard when a person that's very young passes way before their time. Mm-hmm. But, okay, Looking for Something. It's a book about a little girl who's bored. Her mom tells her go for a walk, clear her head. So that's what she does. What it's based on, the events in the book are based on real live events it's my honorary niece, my best friend for like 40 years. Lyd, it was about 10 years ago then. We found out she had cancer, mm-hmm. and she's passed about 9 years now. And I had a dream about her one night a few years back. And it was like when I woke up, I couldn't really remember the dream, but I could remember that it was about her. So I had to write something, and I've liked pirating with writing all my life since I was young. But this was something I wanted to write for her parents, her sister, for me. It was about her. There's a cat in it and a dog in it and a few other little creatures, a few other adventures that have true bases from Lydia's life.
It is incredibly difficult to say goodbye to a young person who is leaving us way, way, way too early. But this is a really beautiful way to remember Lydia and to celebrate her life. And I think that's really important. It's obviously important to mourn, but it's also really important to celebrate the lives of the people who are with us and then leave us too soon.
Correct. I totally agree. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about Lydia.
Well, let's see. She was a little spitfire. She loved to draw. She loved to write. Her parents, they liked to go camping. We had gone camping once, just the girls. We had gone camping and we were tenting it on a beach. There were 5 of us girls, and everybody wanted to stay in the tent because it was raining. And it's like, oh, forget this. So Lydia and I went out and we built a fire. It was just kind of what, she was full of adventure. Got an adventure, go for it. She wasn't going to hold back. And she wrote a lot of poems that were very, very wise beyond her years. She was a good kid. She was just a really good kid. She was fantastic in school. She got straight A's just about. She didn't get an A. She was all frantic because it wasn't an A. It's like, don't worry about it. It's like, nope, she had to keep doing it until it became an A. She had a lot of friends. She had a lot of family, a lot of people that loved her. And, well, it kind of sucks that she left. That's about it.
It does. And it's, the one thing, and I don't mean to, it's not a correction, but it's a suggestion. You referred to Lydia a couple of times as your honorary niece. And that is really, that really is, it's an honor when someone chooses us to be family. But a great friend of the show, Dr. John DeGarmo, who is a foster care expert and who has adopted a number of kids and has had over 100 kids come through his home as foster kids. He told me that he doesn't refer to any of his kids as adopted kids or foster kids. He always refers to them as his kids. And I think I can hear in your voice the love that you had for Lydia, and obviously the love that Lydia had for you. So I would just, for your own heart, just kind of refer to her as your niece, because I think that's how she looked at you.
Well, yes, I was. Thank you. That's very sweet. Yes, I was Aunt Susie. So, yeah, I guess I'll always be Aunt Susie. I mean, I'm Aunt Susie to blood relatives, but yes, Lydia, you're right. Lydia was my niece, and as well as her sister, Elena. They're my nieces. You're right.
So this book came to you in a dream.
Correct.
What is it that you wanted, other than telling kids and celebrating Lydia's life? What is it that you hope the book celebrates and says to kids and to families that experience it together?
Well, in the book itself, as I said, the character Lydi goes out for a walk, and I think it's really important that kids get in tune with nature. They need to see the beauty of the world. They need to see the grass and the trees and the clouds and just enjoy what's out there beyond the computer screen. as I sit here talking to you on a computer. But that's okay. They need it's funny, like when I started writing this book, what I envisioned was a parent reading to their child before bed, or like, if there's a thunderstorm, sitting on the couch, snuggling, reading a nice story. Have you ever seen the movie The Princess Bride?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a fantastic movie, but this is what the gentleman that played Columbo, he played the grandfather to this young boy, and he's homesick for the day from school. And, he's looking at his grandpa like, yeah, right, you're going to read me a book. He goes, no, you're going to like this book. And what it is then grandpa's reading the story, and the boy is getting more engrossed in the story. And it's like, okay, no, he wants to continue it. And that's, granted, my book's no Princess Bride, but it was the feeling that I wanted to get across was, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, whatever, big brother, big sister could read to and with their sibling or their child. And it would bring a closeness. It would just bring a family tie. Getting your kids to read, to enjoy a book, to enjoy going on an adventure, even if they can't get outside, to go on an adventure. That was what I was looking for. And using Lyd, because she was so outgoing, was kind of like a great tool to put this feeling or this want that I wanted across to parents that, kids love this. You just got to give them a chance. You got to introduce them to the outdoors, introduce them to camping, introduce them to whatever it may be, but introduce them to reading, because it's just, it can fill hours that you wouldn't know what to do with.
That is why I started the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Obviously, we understand that reading with our kids, reading with our younger kids is a great introduction to reading, helping them, look at the pictures on the page and pointing to the different characters. Where's the cat? Where's the bottle? Where's the tree? And that kind of stuff. So that's so important for, laying a foundation for a kid to be able to read. And we also know that reading with our older kids, it really helps them develop empathy. It helps them develop the vocabulary. So there's all these kind of intellectual benefits to reading with our kids. But the main reason that I started the Reading with Your Kids podcast is because of what you're talking about, of that bond that is created when we sit down, when we read with our kids, when we stop everything that's going on in our busy lives. And we say to our kids that right now you are the most important person in my life, and I am putting everything else on hold to spend time with you, because you are the person that I love the most in the world. And I believe that the time we spend reading with our kids, it's the beginning of a lifelong conversation. And it's a great introduction. And I'm imagining a family sitting down, reading, looking for something, and deciding, let's go for a hike together. Let's be like Lydia, go out and look for something. Let's go on an adventure together.
Exactly. Get out and discover something that you haven't seen before, or rediscover something you have seen before and forgot about.
Yeah. And I love that as you were writing this, that was the image you had in your mind, that you're creating something for a family to sit down and experience together. How does it feel now that that's accomplished, now that the book is in print and it's available and families are sitting down and reading it together? How does that make you feel as an author?
Oh, extremely cool. But I must say, just not to correct you, but when I first wrote the book, I was writing a story, and actually I was writing it for Linda and Albert, Lydia's parents, and their other daughter, Elena. It was for them, and it was Albert read the story to some of his students that he had, and they loved it, and their parents loved it. That's why I ended up trying to get it published, because because they loved it and they encouraged me to do that. So I didn't initially do it for everybody else, but once they said, yes, I think other people would like this too, that was when I put more into it. And then it's so cool to know that other people are enjoying something that I created. I've read the book at a few different bookstores and a couple schools and stuff like that. There was, at one point, it was like the first time that it happened to me, that when I read the book and we got through, and this little boy came to me, he was probably 7 years old. He goes, he says, this is my new very favorite book. And it's like, holy moly, it just made me feel so cool, so thrilled that this little boy had taken and listened so intently, and it meant so much to him to hear this book. It was so cool. So now the fact that I'm pretty sure his mom picked up her book, so the fact that they're reading it again and enjoying it and talking about it, it's like, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's.
And I don't know if you've thought about it, but as I'm hearing you talk about this and hearing about this story, I'm just thinking that yes, you wrote it, and you wrote it for Lydia's family, and then they encouraged you to try to get it published, and you did, and you put some more work into it. But in a lot of ways, you wrote this with Lydia.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of the things in there I don't think I would have remembered without thinking about her. And I don't doubt she was giving me a few kicks here and there, things to put in there. And there's, yeah, Lydia was right there by my side, hanging in there with me.
And I'm imagining that Lydia has a smile on her face, knowing that families, because it sounds like family was very, very important to her.
Oh, very much so.
And I'm sure that she is smiling, knowing that families are coming together, growing closer together, reading about her and sharing her story.
You're absolutely right. I'm sure she's. One of the creatures in the book, Sassy the pug, was her dog. And Sassy left the world before Lydi did, and it's like that's my vision, is that Sassy was there waiting for her to come, and it's like the two of them are just having a grand old time and laughing and exploring and doing everything kids and their dogs do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about now? This is not a book about Lydia passing. It's a celebration of her life.
Correct.
But what, there are, as I said, the folks in Lydia's friends at school had to say goodbye to her and had to deal with that loss. And the folks here in our community, when Jamie left us, we had to deal with that loss, and the kids had to deal with that loss. What advice can you share with families that may be in a similar situation where, their kids have to say goodbye to one of their friends way, way too early?
Oh my goodness. That's really tough, because yes, I was saying goodbye to my niece, but for her friends, that had to be so incredibly terrible. I mean, this is a person their age, and they're facing something like that. They faced that. All I can imagine is that parents have to stand by their children and support them. Don't prevent them from spending time with their friend, because I know there were cases where, some of Lid's friends' parents were trying to shelter their children, which is totally understandable. But it took away from their experience. It took away from Lydia's experience, having to be with their friend when they could be with their friend. I would say support them. Let them cherish the time together that they have. let them hug each other, because that lasts forever. That feeling lasts forever.
Yeah, that is such wise advice. I know here in our community, when Jamie left us, Jamie again passed from cancer, and it was a vicious form of cancer. When it was first detected, they didn't give her any hope at all. And she fought through it. And one of the ways that she fought through it, again with the doctors, is she said, I want to be with my friends. I want to go to school. And she did. And she went into remission, and, and she was alive a lot longer than we thought. But, and it would come back and leave and come back. And it was really, really devastating for all of us every time it returned. But she never lost that drive. She was determined, first she was determined to go to China with her class.
Oh, cool.
And she did. And she was determined to graduate from high school with her class, and she did. And the day that she passed, her dad shared this at the memorial. She said to him, "Don't tell my friends not to be sad, because I love them all."
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Well, this is your debut book, but it's not your last book. Is that right?
That's right. Yes. Actually, Looking for Something was totally based on Lyd and totally inspired by Lyd. And then the second one that should be coming out, I'm hoping by the end of this year. We'll see how it's in with the publishers right now. When Linda was cleaning out Lyd's things, she found, because like I said, Lydia loved to write. She had started writing a story about a magical green gem. And Linda found it, and she asked me, she said, can you do something with this? Can you, incorporate it somehow? So I needed to do that. So it's not, I'm sure it's not exactly what Lyd would have done, because she was into the whole magical thing, and my brain doesn't go there. But the next one is called The Green Gem, and it's about Lyd, that character. They find a green gem in her mom's stuff, and it's the story of that. So it's still inspired by Lydi. It's still got pieces of her in it because it was her green gem. And I'm hoping she's, throwing her blessings down on it, saying, okay, that was cool, Aunt Susie. That this works. It's not what I would have done, but it works. So that's what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for, if she thinks it's okay.
Well, I know that not only does she think it's okay, she thinks it's absolutely wonderful. And I think it's absolutely wonderful that you, this was hard for you. And
yeah.
I'm really glad that you took the time and shared this with us, because I think it was really important. How can folks connect with you? Because I know that they're going to want to know when the new book is coming out.
Well, I guess I am not computer savvy. I will admit to that. So I do have a Facebook that is under Susan Arts, Looking for Something, and I do post there. I'm told I should do a website. Haven't done that yet, but the current book and the next book, Green Gem, coming out, it's by the same publisher, Christian Faith Publishing. So they're great because you can go on their website and they announce the books there. They're great. There's a YouTube video actually on Looking for Something. On YouTube, you can go on, if you just Google, YouTube and then type in Looking for Something Susan Arts, you should get that. It's a little trailer that's really cute, and that will refer you to where you can get the book. That's it. Yeah. Right now it's my Facebook site, Susan Arts, looking for something. And I keep things posted there, and then Christian Faith Publishing. Can I tell you one thing though?
Absolutely.
Which is really cool. It's like when Lyd was sick, she went between Roswell and Children's Hospital here in Western New York. Well, Children's is now Oshai Children's Hospital. Well, tomorrow we have a booking. Linda, Lyd's mom, and I are going to Oshai, and we're going to read the book to kids. So it's kind of like really cool. Looking forward to that. And Linda loves going with me to these things, to the book readings and to all this, because it just keeps Lydi. It keeps her in our minds and in our hearts. Not that she would leave, but it just keeps everything. She loves talking about her. I mean, that's one thing. People might not realize that parents who have lost a child, that maybe you shouldn't talk about it because it makes them feel bad. But it's like, talk about it because they love it. They love remembering them. They love talking about them. They love just it keeps them in their lives. It keeps the memory happy. So do that. And that with Jamie too. I mean, with her parents, I'm sure they love to hear about her because that way she's still there.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we are going to keep Lydia and Jamie alive in our hearts, and we hope that you will all check out Looking for Something by our guest, Susan Arts. Susan, thank you so much for taking the time to share this beautiful story with us today.
Thank you, Jed, very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be coming to us from Los Angeles in California. He's the author of Princess Pumpkin, The Pocket Alpaca. His name is Michael James. Really, really, really great interview. I really enjoyed speaking to Michael and learning about Pumpkin because she's a real alpaca. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you are the author of a great children's book, we would love to have you as a guest on the podcast. Being a guest gives you the chance to tell thousands and thousands of people about your fantastic children's book. And it's fun, and it's easy. All you need to do is go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com, click on the contact button, let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next easy steps. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so very, very wonderful. Suzanne Arts, please be sure to check out Looking for Something. I also want to thank my producer, Fatima Khan. Be sure to check out Fatima's blog at readingwithyourkids.com and share the blog with somebody you think will enjoy it. I also want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support that she gives me. And, of course, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.